thin line that separates these two. In fact, the line can be very fragile as well. And it is only by keeping that rule of law we can have the idea of majority rule, but simultaneously other political goals such as economic growth, justice, freedom, and so on. And that is where the idea of checking on the government comes about. The idea of pressure groups comes. Now, when we say that we need pressure group in a society, that doesn't mean that we are against the government or anything as such.
We have too many civil societies, maybe tribal bodies or students' unions, federations, or youth, women, too many various associations, organizations, unions, councils, from state level to district, subdivision, area, colony, and it goes down to village level. And all of us are part and parcel of this one or two bodies. So this morning, let us check ourselves. Is it your organization? Is it my organization? Work truly in the sense of what civil society organization have to work. We have to check ourselves whether we are truly working in this manner. The characteristic at the highest ethical standard of honesty and integrity. Or was it many civil society organizations?
Before I go, let me tell a little bit about this seminar. This seminar was initiated by the Nagaland Law Students Federation in consultation with different universities under Nagaland, and we contacted seven different universities. And by the grace of God, I'm thankful to all those who have given their time by being a part of us today. And there are some few universities who could not make it. And apart from universities, we even contacted the different colleges students from Dimapur, and we are happy with your presence out here. The auspicious presence of our distinguished invitees and guests is a testimony to the importance attached by you all to the activities of Nlsf as we strive to pursue our goals to make our state just and vibrant.
What do we record today? And what are the things which is disturbing us today? Violence, threats, the sword of Damocles hanging over the heads of every Naga soul. And that has planted fear psychosis, concussion. And today, the greatest famine which we are facing in Nagaland is truth. People are afraid to speak the truth. Why? They are afraid. Why? Chemical souls hanging over their head. To turn right, to turn left, always left. Should we allow Nagaland to be a prisoner of this monster or not? Are we not destined to live as a free people in peaceful condition so that we can also grow as any citizens of the world, as any citizens of the country? Is there any space for you young people to develop what you have learned? It is like a bad dream. In a dream, you want to run fast, but there's always pulling back. And we are living exactly in that kind of atmosphere, environment in Nagaland. And therefore, you young people, students of law, should be the torchbearer of peace in this land. And what are the requirements? If you read, you might have read also, in UNESCO's constitution, they say, since war begins in the minds of men, it is the minds of men that the defense of peace must be constructed. It is about judgment. Why? Before dialogue, you cannot say that this is correct, this is wrong. No. So instead of judging people or subjects, why not first digestion, dialogue? Again, bread about bombs. I think people do not like bombs. It is bread, which is much more important than bombs. And lastly, creation above destruction. We are assembled here how to create Nagaland as a united, harmonious, progressive, prosperous Nagaland, not to destroy. And therefore, these are the principles which young minds, I think your young minds, you should now imbibe this principle. And this is very, very urgent, especially in Nagaland. Youth, with your enthusiasm, with your energy, with your new ideas, I think you can really, really contribute in restoration of peace in this beautiful land of ours. Gandhiji said, and I think it is very appropriate, the only cry for peace will be a cry in the wilderness. Dennis Waitley, he had written one book, you might have read also, Empires of the Mind. And what did he say there? He said, what worked yesterday will not work today. What was relevant yesterday will not be relevant today. Why? The world changes, the mind changes, the etiquette changes, everything changes. And therefore, what was right or correct yesterday may not be right. The global economy has moved from the state where natural resources define power. Earlier, we said we should have resources in order to develop, to become rich. But today is quite different. Now, knowledge is power, not resources. Knowledge is power. Japan, they don't have resources, but they are one of the leading industrial countries of the world. In Nagaland, I feel, if we develop that knowledge, then that will be our power to develop Nagaland. And therefore, our educational system, I think we have to keep in touch with this. And I'm telling you, within 10 years, 15 years, when Indian East policies matured, there was a tremendous inflow of people from Southeast Asian countries. Industrialists, business magnates, scholars, tourists, students. So many people rushing to this India. And Northeast being the corridor, we shall be the receiver, first recipient of that economic phenomenon. And it will be a new economic phenomenon. At that time, you young generation will not talk about boundary issues with Assam or Meghalaya or this Manipur. You will not talk about integration issue because the entire Northeast region will be a single economic unit. Lastly, I want to tell you, you should have a vision to build Nagaland. And that mission is How? It is very challenging, but it should be sacred commitment. It has to be a sound edifice on which strong pillars of ideals, morals, ethics, and values should rest, so that you don't fall on the way. Once you start, you should succeed with that one. Today, unfortunately, we are all responsible. Governance is in shambles. So many authorities, no one to govern, and we are in that kind of situation. So we have to start cleansing and bring all the systems on the rails so that Nagaland will have a really normal, effective, transparent governance. Lastly, and in conclusion, if you turn to book of Nehemiah, when the walls of Jerusalem was broken, and when he came to what did he do first? He first surveyed what really are the problems. Why did he survey? So also, now in order to identify what really are the problems that is blocking Naga people, what really the obstacles which we are facing today. Is it political? Is it economic? Is it governance? Is it religious? Is it tribalism? I think now it is time that we have to identify the problem. Because after identifying, what should you do?
Nagaland TV, Sob Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapur viewers, we are on channel number 994 in Global Chapter, and Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number 138 on Hornbill Digital. For all news and updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.